Wave News at 11.
Gambling Girl and Pretty Mischievous. These two down to the wire. Pretty Mischievous, Gambling Girl. Pretty Mischievous wins the Kentucky Oaks.
Pretty Mischievous wins the Garland of Lilies. Now it's the boys' turn. This is Wave News 11. I'm John Ball. The 149th running of the Kentucky Derby is now only 20 hours away after that fantastic race. It's only a 19-horse field this year after 4 scratches in 24 hours. Skinner was the most recent scratch this morning. Practical Move, Lord Miles, and Continuar were all scratched yesterday. Lord Miles was a forced scratch after the trainer had 2 horses die. Cyclone Mischief, Mandarin Hero, and King Russell have all pulled into the race now. Forte, trained by Todd Pletcher, is 7-2 after the first day of wagering. He's trying to get Rapoli Stable their first Derby win. Second choice right now is also a Pletcher horse. Tapit Trice is at 5-1 after the first day of wagering. The long striding gray colt brings a 4-race win streak into the Derby. Look how beautiful that horse is. Bettors have made Angel of Empire 6-1 after the early wagering today. The Arkansas Derby winner is trained by Brad Cox, who's looking for his second Derby victory. Angel of Empire is one of Cox's 4 Derby horses. He also trains Hit Show, Verifying, and Jace's Road. Well, we couldn't have asked for a better day for Oaks, and we're hoping to see a similar outcome for the Kentucky Derby. So let's get over to Ryan Hoke right now, who has a first check of the weather.
It looks pretty good, but there have been some last-minute changes, much like the field for the 149th Kentucky Derby. We have raised the rain chance a little bit at the very end of the day here. This is likely going to be post-Kentucky Derby race, but if you're heading out tomorrow night, keep in mind, we now have a 40% storm chance on the maps here. Temperatures still look very warm tomorrow, and look, most of the day still looks dry. 10% sprinkle chance from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. By the race itself, getting toward that 6 and 7 o'clock time frame, will be at that 20% designation. Quite a bit of cloud cover tomorrow, but we will see some peaks of sunshine. So be sure to wear your sunscreen despite the clouds that we're going to have above. Plenty of sun out there to still burn you. Notice outside this evening, temperatures are generally in the 50s and 60s under the lights of the Twin Spires here. We've had a consistent amount of rainfall to our south and west today. It's been very light, but it has been literally just south and west of our counties. That trend will continue overnight tonight. We expect dry weather amongst all 30 counties of wave country that we serve here. Here's the game plan as we head into Derby morning. Small sprinkle chance, only 10%. The clouds will increase. The temperatures go down into the 50s, so you'll need a jacket in the morning. By the afternoon, it will be almost as warm as it was today, very close to that point. We'll talk more about what's triggering that small storm chance for the end of your Derby day, plus a stormy start to next week in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. While we are just now 1 sleep away from the Kentucky Derby, Friday evening, a new champion was crowned in the running of the Kentucky Oaks. Sports anchor Dusty Baker joins us now in studio to break down how the Oaks went down.
Yeah, John, well, a $1.25 million purse handed out Friday evening to the winner of the Kentucky Oaks, and needless to say, the odds may have been very deceiving heading into the Grade 1 race. The 149th Kentucky Oaks with a race that was exactly what everyone hoped for, with results many may not have expected.
And they're off. And Southlawn broke out well and races out for the early lead.
After an early lead by Southlawn out of the gate, a new crop of leaders came forward, with Flying Connection, Darth Vader, Defining Purpose, and Mimi Kikuchi all battling for the top spots, while the favorite, Wet Paint, hung out to dry.
And it's Flying Connection showing the way. Darth Vader in the clear, racing up into second. Defining Purpose in third. Mimi Kikuchi's in tight there, bounced around while fourth.
Within the final 4 furlongs, Pretty Mischievous, with a 10-1 opening line, began to make her way around the front, with the Alice Look hanging close behind.
With the outside draw, I was able to just kind of let her get underneath herself. She's a big, long, striding filly, so we just kind of let her get into stride.
She traveled so good, and she just got him to the front so easy.
Pretty Mischievous is 4 wide and looming with 3 furlongs to go. The Alice Look has come off the rail. She's within 3 lengths of the lead as well.
While Wet Paint couldn't find a lane to make up ground like she has in the past, Pretty Mischievous using her blinkers and the wide turn to her advantage.
She just lacks a little concentration when she gets out there on her own, and that's why we put the blinkers on today. So I think that worked.
I had a ton of confidence. She's been working so amazing, especially with the addition of blinkers. I really think it helped her turn the corner.
2 furlongs to go. Pretty
Mischievous comes wide off the turn, but she's in front.
In the final stretch, Gambling Girl at 15-1 odds heading into the race would give Pretty Mischievous a run for her money.
I was quietly confident, but that last 16th when that other filly was coming at her, it was a long 16th.
Pretty Mischievous in front by 2. Gambling Girl continues to rally. Gambling Girl trying to catch Pretty Mischievous on the wire. Pretty Mischievous, Gambling Girl. Pretty Mischievous held on.
Pretty Mischievous would win the 149th Kentucky Oaks race, won with jockey Tyler Gaffalione, trained by Brendan Walsh and owned by Godolphin LLC.
That means the world. I'm so thrilled for Brennan and Godolphin. They've been so good to me the past few years, and it's amazing to be able to get this kind of win for them.
Since I was a kid, I wanted to win a classic. I mean, it's just a dream come true.
Well, all day we were handicapping at Churchill Downs, and we'll continue to do so as well on Saturday. Pretty Mischievous with a hefty payout with $22.74 for the win, $10.10 for place, and $7.40 for show. Second place finisher, Gambling Girl, reeled in $12.84 for place and $8.36 for show. And finally, the Alley's Look reeled, well, $13.80 for show as well. John, I know that finish was a little tough for you.
Yeah, guess who had Gambling Girl? Oh, my goodness. All right, good job putting that together. Thank you, Dusty. More than 100,000 people at Churchill Downs came from all over to enjoy the Oaks, wearing the best pink outfits and hats to fit the tradition of Oaks. Wave News reporter Brandon Spencer recaps what they had to say about it.
Well, the Kentucky Oaks was everything I expected and then some. The weather, amazing. The people, joyous and having a great time. And all to be a part of a great horsing event full with a lot of races and people winning and some losing.
Well, go Derby! Go horses!
For some folks, going to the Kentucky Oaks is an easy decision.
Well, you get to see the horses up close, and it's fun just to see everybody out here, everybody having fun, and get to see people that you haven't seen since last year at Oaks. So.
From a full slate of races to the Survivors Day parade, every pocket of Churchill Downs is filled for the festivities. But thousands seem to think the best time is in the infield.
There's tons of space so we can bring our coolers, our chairs, and just kind of hang out. We have access to all of the drinks, all of the music, all of that fun stuff, so we really love it.
Derby Week is a time for Louisville to shine, and according to Mayor Craig Greenberg, it brings the best out of its people.
To see everyone's hospitality and genuine love of others come through, and however you choose to celebrate Derby Week and Derby, it's an amazing place to be, and this is what we need to see, the whole country to see. This is Louisville.
And while people enjoy the music, drinks, and camaraderie that comes with the Kentucky Oaks, one of the main draws, of course, is the fashion.
Well, Derby Week's all about fashion. That's just it. It's fashion, fashion, fashion. And the bigger the better when it comes to the hats. You can't go small. Go big or go home.
Hey, every year I try to go all out as a local, show these out-of-towners how we party in Louisville.
And now that Kentucky Oaks is over, all eyes are now on the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Who's going to win? Who's going to walk away winners and losers tomorrow? You'll be able to find out tomorrow night when I bring you that recap for Wave News at 11 for Saturday night. But for now, reporting at Churchill Downs, Brandon Spencer, Wave News.
Well, between all the racing today and the fashion, breast cancer and ovarian cancer survivors got their chance to shine. 149 cancer survivors walked in the Survivors Parade. They were joined by members of their family. For many survivors, they say they've fought hard to walk in this parade, and they wanted to show others they can beat cancer too.
I have 2 3-year-old boys, twins. So they were 1.5 when I was diagnosed. So my husband's been a huge support for me, so I'm glad he's by my side.
Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 30.
So 30 years old, that is not the age that you get tested for breast cancer. And so that makes us wonder, what do we do? How do we fight this disease? It doesn't always play fair.
No, it definitely doesn't play fair. No, my mother died of breast cancer when she was in her 40s, so I thought she was young. But then when I was diagnosed when I was 29, that was a huge shock to me, for sure.
Man, that parade was riveting and compelling and moving. And best part of the day, the Kentucky Oaks Charitable Initiative has raised more than $1 million for women's health advocacy since it started. Well, the stars have been hitting the red carpet all over Louisville tonight. We hope you enjoyed our coverage over the last couple of hours. We have team coverage right now. Some of the biggest parties and galas. Wave News' Natalia Martinez has been at the Barnstable Brown Gala. So, Natalia, this one brings in the A-listers on its guest list.
It usually does. In the past, I've seen a couple of more country music stars that have come. Eric Church was supposed to come. I haven't seen him unless he was just performing and didn't come through the main entrance. But we did see some A-listers like Peyton Manning, who we spoke to a little while ago.
I've come to this event many times. She does great work raising money for diabetes and, bring in some actors and athletes and singers here. So it's always a great night.
He was very nice. And, of course, it was our local Jack Harlow who kind of stole the crowd's heart, John, because he was coming in to the party and he made a little stop. He looked at his friends and they went back out into the crowd to take pictures and selfies and sign people's autographs. He even signed a T-shirt for someone who had made a big heart with Jack Harlow on it. So he was a big crowd sport, and judging by the screams in the crowd, a big crowd favorite.
All right, thank you very much. Nice job tonight, Natalia. While a new Derby champion is going to be crowned tomorrow, an hour away from Churchill Downs, the Derby's oldest living champion is enjoying his time in the spotlight at a farm in Georgetown. Silver Charm won the Derby back in 1997. It's my favorite Derby ever. The now 29-year-old is living comfortably at Old Friends Thoroughbred Retirement Home. His caretakers say even after being retired for years, he still has a little stubbornness in him.
Silver Charm is very intelligent. He told us right away that he doesn't like to get petted. He just wants to be. And he didn't like the cars at night with the lights on, so he comes in at night.
It's like, get off my lawn, old man. Silver Charm was almost a Triple Crown winner. He won the Derby and the Preakness, but he couldn't hang on in the Belmont and lost by 3/4 of a length to touch gold. If you're going to go to Derby tomorrow, you're going to want to leave early to find parking. If you have front side tickets, you can park at the Expo Center and catch the shuttle, but you better be prepared to wait. Look at this line here. It took our crews 45 minutes to just even get on a shuttle. You'll need to enter the Expo Center at gates 2, 4, or 6. If you have an infield or general admission ticket, you're on your own. There's paid parking at Cardinal Stadium. That's $40 a car. Or you can find a neighbor's yard nearby and work that out. And you know how that goes. Kentucky State Troopers are going to have extra patrols on 65 this weekend as people travel to and from the Derby. Troopers said they're going to be looking for drunk drivers. If you're going to the track, have a designated driver or make other plans to get home. There's a lot more ahead here at 11. The Indiana ACLU responding to a new law signed by Governor Holcomb. We'll tell you why the organization says it's damaging transgender kids. A Kentucky educator saves a choking student, how his previous job helped him jump into action.
In weather, we're talking about a slight increase in the rain chance for our Derby night. We'll talk more about what's causing that and what you can expect for the rest of your weekend. It's all coming up from the Weather Garden up next. But up first, a look at your Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Mega Millions is at $68 million. The Powerball's at $87 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, over $4.4 billion in grants and scholarships.
Like me, I'm sure you have big plans for your next chapter. Protected income from an annuity helps ensure you'll have all your bases covered so you can have the financial freedom to tick off your bucket list. Go to protectedincome.org today.
Try some delightful farm fresh favorites at Slim Chickens. We start with fresh greens, add feta cheese crumbles, and delicious candied pecans. 100% all-natural grilled chicken tenders and sliced red ripe strawberries. Try the grilled chicken strawberry salad, backed by popular demand. Or the new grilled chicken strawberry wrap. But hurry, these fresh favorites are just around during peak strawberry season. Only at Slim Chickens.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. There's only one. This is Wave News at 11.
Louisville police are investigating a couple of overnight shootings that sent 2 drivers to the hospital. Police say the first shooting happened on the Watterson near Taylor Boulevard. The man had pulled over to the side of the road after being shot at about 1:30. He was taken to University Hospital. He is expected to survive. Shortly after that, officers got a shot spotter notification about 2:30 in the morning near 18th and Magazine. No victim was found at the scene. Then a woman arrived at Jewish Hospital with gunshot wounds. Police said the woman was driving in that area and somebody pulled up next to her and shot her. She is expected to survive as well. If you know anything about either of these shootings, call police, please. We're hearing from the Indiana ACLU after Governor Holcomb signed a bill that requires schools to notify a parent if a student requests a name or a pronoun change at school. Under the law, school leaders would have to send a written notification to a child's parent or guardian within 5 business days of the child asking to be called a different pronoun, title, or word. ACLU released a statement saying in part, LGBTQ students exist at all ages and in all grade levels, and their stories belong in Indiana schools. Our schools should protect all students, including LGBTQ students, so they can learn and thrive in a safe environment. ACLU of Indiana attorneys are assessing the law and will do everything in our power to protect the rights of LGBTQ students, unquote. Kentucky State University is close to choosing their next president. The university's Board of Regents says down to 3 finalists. The search began March 8th. Finalists will visit the Frankfort campus this month to meet with the university community. You can find a list and read more about the finalists on wave3.com. Central Kentucky assistant principal is being called a hero after he saved a choking student using the Heimlich maneuver. Rob McCann says it happened during lunch at Paris High School. McCann says when he saw the student in trouble, his instincts kicked in. Before becoming an educator, he served as a lifeguard for 12 years.
She initially kind of gave the international, I'm choking to her friends, and I don't think they kind of maybe realized what was going on. I did the Heimlich maneuver 3 times, and then finally she was able to loosen up. And really, teachers are changing lives in classrooms all the time. This particular instance was just another, opportunity to act.
The district superintendent says their school is lucky to have him as a leader and a role model. All right, let's get back into the weather. Ryan, my friends always joke about how so many derbies over the years have had a well-timed rain shower move in, like right before the running of the Derby. Are we close to that? You got me kind of concerned there in your last weather hit.
At this point, I think it's like the opposite of that. It would be just after the Derby race when that rain chance starts to go on its upward trend here. This is a fluid situation. You're going to have to check the Wave weather app here constantly during the overnight and early tomorrow, John, for the latest on these rain chances here. There they are, the beautiful twin spires of Churchill Downs on Derby Eve. If you are a lifelong Louisvillian like me, there is nothing like it, right? This is the time of year that so many of us look forward to here. So we want the weather to be good, right? Here's the deal with the rain chance tomorrow. This is all fresh data coming to you here on Wave News at 11. 10% chance of an isolated sprinkle tomorrow during the day. No problem. We're fine. Look toward the Derby race itself. 20% chance for a shower. Again, not a huge deal. It's after the race itself. The latest data is trying to key in on a few dissipating thunderstorms trying to move toward us, which would result in a few showers in our area with an increasing storm chance towards Sunday morning when a lot of us will be sleeping. So no big deal there. It's just this timing, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. That's when a lot of folks will be out during their post-Derby activities. So keep that in mind. Have a poncho in the car just in case. Nonetheless, the overall forecast for tomorrow still looks good. I mean, we're not talking any sort of huge changes just yet. These are minor details that can bring some impacts. That's why we're kind of making a statement about that so everybody knows what's going on. You'll notice we've got temperatures in the 60s by the time we go into 10 o'clock tomorrow. This is going to be a fairly mild overnight for us. You know, Derby morning can be sometimes in the 40s. It can feel a little bit like winter. Not so much tomorrow. We'll wake up in the 50s. There'll be a more more considerable amount of moisture and humidity in the air. That'll keep the temperature up. Temperatures will likely be in the 70s tomorrow for highs, kind of like they were today, albeit with more cloud cover. That will protect some of us from the sunburn, but still wear your sunscreen tomorrow. That sun can still be brutal this time of year. Let's break it down with Futurecast, and we'll talk about the reason why we're seeing this slight bump in the shower chance for tomorrow night. First off, most of the day is dry tomorrow, all right? Morning's good, afternoon's pretty good. It's the evening when we're starting to track a few of these showers. Aha, here they are. Notice the timing here, 7:30. Derby race will be largely over by then, but as these showers try to make a run at us, that's when we'll see that 30 to 40% chance of these showers. We are not expecting severe weather by any stretch tomorrow. That will be out to our west. The reason we're seeing this is because some of the data this evening is trying to be a bit more aggressive with the moisture, actually the humidity in the air trying to move in from the south and west with a warm front. The timing of that is going to be critical. If that moves in a little faster, that gives these storms more of an environment to move their way toward us as a few showers late on Saturday night. That's the latest on the Saturday night storm chance. Notice the Sunday storm chance goes up to 60%. Monday at 60%. This is a stormy start to early next week. Not what we want to hear going back to work and school, but here's why that is. There's a ridge of high pressure over the Gulf of Mexico, and us being like right at the top of this thing puts us in a northwest flow regime with the winds aloft. That brings in so many of these disturbances just pummeling us with these storms after storms after storms. We're not expecting widespread severe weather, but a few of these could be strong with gusty winds here. Finally, a cold front will push through as we head toward Tuesday morning and bring this stormy pattern to an end. So it's a short period between Sunday and Tuesday that we see this, but it could result in multiple rounds of storms. Let's get you outside right now. There are the Twin Spires again. Current temperatures generally in the 60s. It feels fantastic out here. Radar's clear around here, but we've had these persistent light showers across southern Kentucky. They've literally just been outside our viewing area the entire day. Not a drop of rain has fallen within the 30 counties that we serve, though. Generally, what we'll watch is the warm front out to our west. That will be the catalyst for the changes as we head toward Kentucky Derby night. After the race, most likely. You'll see that 9 o'clock time frame, 40% chance of showers, possibly a bolt of lightning or two. That is after the Derby race, most likely. Then on Sunday, highest rain chance looks to be around midday or so, and even in the morning hours. Check out how stormy it gets very early on Sunday here. Keep an eye on those storm chances Sunday through Tuesday. You keep an eye on us and, of course, our 10-day earliest alert, too. You'll note those storm chances do ease by Wednesday. We're back into the 80s with another chance of storms by late next week. This forecast looks every bit like June or summer. That's what happens this time of year. We flip from Derby spring weather right into the throes of humidity and daily storm chances. We're back with Wave News at 11 after this.
Try some delightful farm fresh favorites at Slim Chickens. We start with fresh greens, add feta cheese crumbles, and delicious candied pecans. 100% all-natural grilled chicken tenders and sliced red ripe strawberries. Try the grilled chicken strawberry salad, backed by popular demand. Or the new grilled chicken strawberry wrap. But hurry, these fresh favorites are just around during peak strawberry season. Only at Slim Chickens.
Do the rodeo, shake your tail, feathers drop it down low. Grab your partner, swing them round. Now swing them right back for another round. Everybody just stomp your feet, clap your hands like 1, 2, 3. I said clap your hands like 1, 2, 3.
Dr. Rochelle Walensky is stepping down as the director of the Centers for Disease Control. In a letter to President Biden, Dr. Walensky said the end of the COVID public health emergency would also be the end of her tenure at the CDC. During her 2+ years leading the agency, Dr. Walensky not only led efforts to try to control the pandemic, but also monkeypox, Ebola, and other diseases. She will officially leave at the end of June. National COVID emergency ends next Tuesday. That means treatments, tests, and vaccines for COVID are no longer going to be free. The payments will now be up to private insurance or common everyday people. Healthcare leaders say the cost for hospitals will also be impacted. They say labor and supplies skyrocketed since the start of the pandemic.
Yes, you are seeing hospitals across the nation struggling financially. I think you're going to see a lot close. I mean, even in the state of Kentucky, there's over 50 hospitals that are at risk for closing.
State health data shows there's a low level of COVID transmission in Kentucky right now. Only 3 northeastern Kentucky counties have moderate spread. A familiar face entering Indiana's governor race. We'll tell you about the new challenger coming up next on Wave. Former Indiana State School Superintendent Jennifer McCormick is running for governor. She announced her candidacy for the 2024 race in Evansville. McCormick highlighted her experience as a teacher and the last elected state superintendent. State legislature has since changed the position to an appointed role. McCormick will run as a Democrat. She was elected to the superintendent role as a Republican, but says she has since found herself more aligned with the Democratic Party. New Southern Indiana Park is getting a major investment as part of Indiana's new state budget. Origin Park was awarded more than $37 million in a grant. Our partners at the News and Tribune report that it'll be used to create an outdoor adventure center. The planned 430-acre park would primarily span areas along the Ohio River in Clarksville. The construction of Origin Park is expected to take several years. Some of its offerings will be open before the final product is finished. We'll be right back.
Try some delightful farm fresh favorites at Slim Chickens. We start with fresh greens, add feta cheese crumbles, and delicious candied pecans. 100% all-natural grilled chicken tenders and sliced red ripe strawberries. Try the grilled chicken strawberry salad, backed by popular demand. Or the new grilled chicken strawberry wrap. But hurry, these fresh favorites are just around during peak strawberry season. Only at Slim Chickens.
As we get ready to crown our next Derby champion, across the pond, England's getting ready for kind of a big deal, the coronation. King Charles III is going to be crowned at London's Westminster Abbey. Ceremony starts at about 5 a.m. More than 2,200 guests are expected, including members of the royal family and representatives from more than 200 countries. First Lady Jill Biden will be there to represent the United States. We, however, will be running Derby coverage. Way bigger than any coronation.
Because I don't think anybody in Louisville even remembers that that's going on. And
there'll be some complaints. You watch.
There will be a few. We'll watch our inboxes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more. All for free with Wave Now. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and the Wave News app.